Hi, I'm Annika Johnson from Al Johnson's in Sister Bay. I hope you enjoy my new video series called Door County Girl. These are stories of my life, the people and places that I love, and of course how we all survive here in northern Wisconsin. You can come back as often as you like, but don't forget to subscribe to Al's YouTube channel. I'll be posting lots of really cool new videos. So let's go! Welcome to another episode of Door County Girl. Today I'm not here with my brother Rolf. I'm here today with my other brother Kit. He's my brother from another mother.
So where is Rolf? Should we go into that explanation?
Okay,
here?
Yeah, Rolf is flying on his way to Santa Barbara with his son because Jesper had never got to go to college because of COVID, and he's just been biting his chomping at the bit to get out of here, and now he's flying off to Santa Barbara to go to a diving school. Am I correct?
I'm so excited for him. Yeah, because I mean, I think everybody remembers their first day, like walking into your dorm and how cool that feeling is. So I'm really excited for that. And,
every day I'd ask Jesper, how many days? He's like, 13 days, 4 hours, and 2 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, he's so ready to get out of here.
I'm not cooking.
He's done cooking at Al's right now.
Okay, so we are going to get messy today, just to warn you. So
let's
hopefully
get
you got
messy.
Your nicest clothes on.
Yep,
prepared?
I've got white on so I can get white.
So this is going to stretch the limits of the KitchenAid mixer. I'm going to say that right off the bat here. We've got probably the maximum amount of flour that we're going to use.
Okay.
So we are making Knäckebröd, or you could probably say it more
Knäckebröd or hardtack. We were just talking about what's the difference. And Knäckebröd is a dry cracker, or
ours uses yeast, and then the hardtack recipes I saw didn't use yeast. They actually used cold butter that would probably just evaporate and cause it to expand and become crisp, and that's sort of at least the little bit of science behind the tiny bit of rise that it gets. So
well, either way, I love them all. So
and the thing I love about this recipe, I know people get sort of scared when they're using yeast and using, just baking in general. This dough is like super forgiving. It is really easy to do. It's really pliable. Like when you roll it out, it's not like one where it sticks to everything and you're like. I mean, I've made pizza before where I'm
can't get it off the
it's
counter.
all over
you can't
me
get it,
and on my elbows
your fingers and
So this one's not like that. So we're gonna head it out. So we got yeast here.
Okay, and this is just dry yeast, right?
Dry yeast here. Yep. And so let's raise. All right, you want me to come? I'm going to come around here.
He's going to come on this side. He's going to.
So we're going to raise it up. We're going to put the yeast in there. We've got some warm milk going on here.
Why warm? To make the yeast?
So it's going to help the proofing process. Okay. It's going to activate the yeast when we put it in. There's sugars or lactose in there that's going to help feed the yeast. The yeast sort of rely on sugar and start to ferment, basically. So we do that. I think we're going to let it sort of, you can see it'll start to bubble up and do its thing. But like I said, this recipe's not all about the yeast rise or that. It's really like, even if you sort of botch it a little bit, you don't want to have, we don't need it to rise like the Easter roll, the Lenten rolls or anything like that, like semla or something like that. So we're going to put in the rest of the milk. And then I'm going to use the Ljus syrup. So it's beet sugar syrup from Sweden. You can get it online. You can get it at the gift shop.
Yep, we have dark and we have light.
So traditionally, sometimes people use honey for it. I like this just because it's different. I mean, it has a little more of a candy flavor to it. Yep,
and it's not molasses, people. It's not molasses. My mom always says, they don't have molasses in Sweden.
And then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of this.
Do they? They don't have molasses in Sweden, do they?
No, they don't, because they use. I mean, molasses comes from sugar, and they don't have sugar cane in Sweden, being that it's a northern country. But beets do provide actually most of our sugar up in the northern hemisphere, and especially I think we get a lot of beet sugar from Minnesota. It's like one of the top producers of beet sugar, and in fact, our Swedish pancake syrup has just 2 ingredients. It's got pure maple syrup in it, and then it has a blend of beet sugar syrup in it too.
Yep, no corn syrup.
Yep. So now we got the basic components. We got our yeast, we got our milk, we got our sugar going. I'm just going to give it a little, just a little stir with this, and then we're going to time to get crazy here.
Do you have to have this machine to make it?
No, I think
they didn't have it in the old days.
No, I think it's more of a rustic dough where it's not necessary. This definitely helps it out because you can see when we add the flour into it, it's going to hit the dough hook. It's going to sort of be crumbly and crumbly and crumbly, and then it's sort of magically going to be a nice ball or slowly close to a ball of that.
Okay.
I'm going to have you we're going to add the spices to it too. So another thing that I think makes it really Scandinavian. So can you give me a teaspoon of each one of these? So we have caraway, we have fennel, and we have anise seed. So what else have we made you and I used to make lots of jars of
aquavit.
Aquavit mix. So
and we would put these in the aquavit.
All the recipes have this and sugar and some other items there too. So
yes.
Like, this is very.
And they all smell so good.
Yeah. So that's a pretty common, like, Scandinavian combination here.
And actually, fennel and anise we have in our limpa bread.
Yep.
But not caraway.
No.
Yep.
So really great flavors. So give me a teaspoon of each of those. Put them right in the mixer. They're going to sort of steep in all the tastiness.
In here?
Yeah, right in there. And then, you can put it in there. That's fine. Put it in the milk. Sorry.
We're both
right
quick, so he's got to catch me quicker. He's quick, I'm quick.
Okay,
we're going in
put
there.
it right there.
Okay.
It's all right. It's all going in the same place. So it doesn't really matter anyways.
Okay, boom.
So.
Want me to scoop that out?
No. Fine. All right. So I'm going to add just a little bit of flour ahead of time. I'm going to try and do about half of it right now. The problem is when you do the second half. Hopefully my mother-in-law's not watching here. So really slow. You're going to get it's like when it spins a few times around and then it gets crazy and just sort of pops up.
I used to, like when I used to work in the salad bar, we had the old milkshake makers where you put it up, and if you didn't go slow, the big lump of milkshake would whip around and you just get splattered all over in your face. So we always put a towel around it, so it won't splatter all over.
I'm pretty clean right now.
Yeah, you are.
All right, so it's sort of got it together. You can see it's sort of goopy. That's not what we want. This will be the problem child here. And then the flour that I'm adding here, I'm adding 3 cups of dark rye flour. And I know that's sort of an odd one to find in your grocery store. You will find it in like sort of the specialty like flours area. Like if you have a gluten-free aisle, a lot of times you'll find like rye flour or Bob's Red Mill is a good company that does like alternative flour. So you need 3 cups of that. And then we're going to need 3 1/3 cups of bread flour too, which I think is also important. They all have sort of different glutens in each of the flour. So if you use all-purpose,
So not just plain flour.
No, I think bread flour and everything sort of. I had this recipe and I sort of searched everywhere, and I'm like trying to find it. Everybody had bread flour specifically for this one, so I think it's important.
So just talking, like what did they use in the old days if they didn't have bread flour?
They had their local monastery blend flour here.
Just any old flour. That means any old flour in my kind of talk.
So we made a big mess here, but we knew we were. I warned everybody.
It's awesome. You're not a good baker if you don't make a mess.
No, and that's the thing. I mean, I think you after you have the initial spill, it's all good. This one's actually doing pretty good. It's balling up right away. And it's locked down, so it's not going to fly anywhere. But.
Yeah, in the restaurant we have a big, giant one that's like this big with a big bread dough arm.
So
that's a nice one.
So now it's actually balled up nicely, but you want it to look a little silky, smooth, and sticky.
So keep it beating for a while?
And we're going to let it go just a little bit. We're only like a minute. We don't want to overwork the gluten and make it chewy, because we definitely don't want a chewy cracker. And I think we're pretty much right there. Actually, we're going to add, got a little bit of the salt that I want to add to it. And you sort of add that in the final sort of spin here while it's going.
And people who don't like a lot of salt don't have to put a lot in it.
Yeah, you can adjust everything you want on this. I mean, if you don't want, like, I don't like anise, I don't want any of those things. I do think it for me.
You can just make a plain one.
Yeah, it definitely creates sort of the perfect, flavors. I think the right Scandinavian flavor profile. So stuff that we're all sort of used to and that kind of thing. Okay. And I think we're done here. So I'm gonna just pull this off the hook.
Like flavored things.
Yeah,
like,
so you see it,
yeah,
like it's got a little stickiness to it.
But
this
it's not
is perfect.
sticking to you though.
No, and if it's dry, you're just gonna add like a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of milk to it. Okay. And then you really want it to be sticky here. Now we're gonna let the magic of yeast just do its thing here. So we're gonna put it back into this bowl here.
How long does it take to rise?
What's that?
How long do you leave it rise?
You're gonna let it sort of sit there for an hour. I'm gonna do a little quick sort of knead of it, because I think this is also a great time to...
Look, it doesn't stick at all to the counter.
No, it's perfect. And this is what I mean. The dough is just super pliable. It's not like a tricky dough to work with. And then I'm gonna just make it into a big ball. And I'm gonna just use this and cut it in 4, because this recipe sort of makes 4 half sheet pan versions.
I have a stupid question. What if you just put that on a pan right now and put it in the oven? Would it make bread? Like for lazy people who don't want to roll it out?
It would.
Or would it be super dense?
I think it would be a really dense one. I mean, just the use of, we have a lot of rye flour in here.
Okay.
And like rye is like a drier flour, or just a flour
so it would be
that
really
creates more of a bite.
And dry.
It's like it wouldn't be like, wow, I've got this big airy bread.
Not a moist bread, yeah.
I mean, there may be people that dig that. I don't know. I think it's a little more difficult, but so, and then we're just gonna drop these. So we got like four nice little balls in there. We're just gonna cover them up with some plastic wrap, keep them from drying, allow them to proof, and they're just gonna proof for about an hour. You let them sit. So magically, I made some here. Clear this out of the way.
Yeah, Mrs. Hickey would be mad at us. We have all our ingredients.
Yeah, I know. I
put away.
I gotta meet Mrs. Hickey one of these days. So this is, you can see it's risen. It's not going to rise like tremendously. Okay. And even if you made a slight mistake in like the yeast was, you didn't put enough in or that kind of thing, it's pretty, it allows you a lot of flexibility here.
Okay.
So we're going to put that down there. I'm actually going to have you roll it.
Oh yeah,
so
I just had to make a
try and
pie
roll
the
it.
other night.
Try and roll it. Yeah. So everybody doesn't know that Annika can actually.
I used to be the baker at Al's.
She baked at Al's, yeah.
Yeah, and the other day Johnny O forgot to make a banana cream pie for someone, so I had to come in and make a banana.
I talked to him in the morning. He
and
said
then
that
he
wasn't
didn't see
true.
my banana cream pie filling, so he made another banana cream pie. But that was my ploy all along, because that's my favorite pie, so I could have one to myself.
So isn't that pretty easy to roll out? I mean.
Yeah, but how thin do we do it?
You want to go really as thin as you can possibly do it, pretty much.
Almost like flatbread.
1/8, but like even then, it's gonna puff up and rise. You want to go. Ideally, you want it in a nice square.
Oh, a square?
Yep, you can, because it's gonna go right on our sheet pan here.
I'll try to get it a square.
We won't judge. I actually sort of like it when it's sort of rustically cut like this.
Yeah, we have a big round one in the boutique. What's it called again? The big round one. Lexand.
Oh, the Lexand, yeah.
Lexand, yeah. And
so that's an interesting story too. So like they would make huge batches of these back in the old days, and they would put them on. They would cut a little hole in the middle, and they would hang them, and they would put them by their fireplace, and they would just stay there, and they would hang for a long, long time. And they would, whenever they needed some, they would just sort of go and grab it. Is that thin enough?
I think so.
Okay. So you can see
I can't get it to go thinner.
So the next thing we want to do, and that you can do, is we don't want it to like puff up. So we're going to sort of take the air pockets out of it. I took a bar muddler, so it has all these things, And in a lot of Scandinavian stores, they have a special rolling pin that you can just roll it, and it divots the dough. Or
yeah, my mom has one at home that's looks like a waffle.
Yeah.
Like a waffle
and that's
maker.
what they would use for this. They
Yep.
use it for other doughs as well. But I'm just going to have you make like a nice little
pattern,
because I think that's sort of the pretty sort of ideal kind of thing here. You can just press down
food
hard.
art.
If you have neither of these, just use a fork. Just do all the way around, almost like you're making pie crust.
Yep.
But I'll let you do that.
Okay. Do this.
And then the other thing, the dough will keep for a while. So if you wanted to make a bunch of dough and you're like, I just made like one group of crackers, let it sit. I think the cool thing that will happen too is you have sort of a souring effect as the dough sort of ferments and the yeast goes. So like a lot of these, like the Vasa brand has like their sourdough, or they'll have a sour version of it. It may be an interesting thing to try and like let it sit in your refrigerator. I think from what I was reading, is up to a week you can let it sit in your refrigerator, pull it out, let it come to room temperature, and then then do this next process.
This is a perfect little tool.
Yeah.
What made you think of this?
I stole it from my idea, yeah.
I was trying to think of one of those things you pulverize meat with.
I know, it's sort of fun though too.
Like a
Don't you
is it
find
like a little
it's,
hammer?
Like sort of relaxing, just making a cute little.
If you're frustrated, you could just sit here and go.
Kit.
I hate cooking. I hate cooking.
Yeah.
I hate cooking.
So we're pretty much there. The other thing we could do too is if you want like the perfect crackery thing, you can actually sort of cut them so they could.
Yeah, that's a question I had beforehand.
So basically, the dough is still sticking together.
Yeah.
Well, they actually roll it out pretty nicely.
And then they cut it before they bake it. Though.
Yeah. Then they will score it basically.
Yeah,
so
because
like
once it's a cracker, you can't cut it.
We can do triangles here.
But are you cutting all the way through?
No, because it's just going to create the scoring thing, which will allow it to crumble on the way you want it to.
Okay.
So we'll just do it like that. Though this one we're going to bake later. I've got another one already set and ready to go for us to try, so we can eat some. Where people aren't waiting.
And Leeksand also makes a big round one, so when you get it, it's a bunch of round ones in there in a paper package, and then you just break it off what you want. Otherwise, they make a triangle package.
So the other thing you can do here too is if you wanted to add some seasoning to it on the top and bake it, so you want to add like some sunflower seeds or like I love everything bagel. Like you just put that on there. If you want to do that, that's this is your cracker. You can do what you want.
Garlic or something.
I mean, we're in Wisconsin. You may some sharp cheddar on there, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I've never tried that.
Shred some cheese.
Something to try out. So we're gonna pop it in the oven. Oven has to be at 350. It's gonna go in there for like 25 minutes. I think 25 plus a little bit more. You just keep an eye on it. Everybody's ovens are sort of different temperature-wise, depending on what it is. So we're gonna put that in there now.
Ooh.
And we'll pull that bad boy out.
How long does it bake?
So 25 minutes. So you see we got this beautiful brown, tasty. So you know what we call this? It's s'more time.
What do you call it?
S'more time.
Why?
Butter.
Oh, butter time. I love butter.
And lingonberries too. So
that's just enough for me. Where's yours? This is
So you can see this one we didn't score ahead of time, but you see it's sort of got the nice ridges.
Yep. When it's hot still, so because we kind of made things ahead of time because it takes a while.
And if you let it out, it's going to dry out more. I know it's hot now.
It is hot.
So I'm just going to do a little bit.
The butter's going to melt all over it like
a terrible
pancake.
Thing? Is that a terrible thing?
No, it's not a terrible thing.
So
what are you putting on yours?
I'm going to get some lingonberries on mine too.
You're putting lingonberries? We have some Swedish lingonberries.
So my favorite thing is Swedish farmer's cheese, like butter, Swedish farmer's cheese, and lingonberries.
Whoa, look at me. Making a mess. Okay.
Oh geez, I'm going crazy too.
I'm going to try some with lingonberries too. Kit and I don't like when we eat fast too. He and I are fast eaters.
Super crackery.
Messy eaters.
I probably let it go a little crispily in the oven because I sort of just turned off the heat in there. Let it go, but it's nice and crunchy. Great flavor.
I love crunchy things, crunchy cereal, crunchy everything. That's probably why I have like 3 crowns and a root canal. Okay. Sound like crunchy candy.
Candy. But just awesome, easy to do. You can see how it is. The dough is super, just easy to handle.
Really good.
Flavor. Yeah, I know. Great flavor. I was concerned with the whole seeds of things because that sort of scares me, like a whole fennel seed or a whole anise seed in there. But
do you know that I've never had warm Knäckebröd?
I don't think I have had it.
I always get the package of cold one, put it out there. And as a matter of fact, I don't even think I put butter on mine. I just put cheese or like whatever on it.
See, I'm like, when I used to go to IKEA, I'd get their big farmer's cheese, slice it, butter, lingonberries, farmer's cheese.
Not me, man. I got Renard's 14-year aged cheddar out.
The other, if you like callus, the salmon roe, hard-boiled egg on that, callus on the top, it just melts on there, and that's a really good combination too.
This is great.
Yeah. So
you could even shape it, you know, like if you were having...
We get our goat...
You could make hearts or stars, cut them out like cookie cutters and stuff.
Goat cookie cutters?
Yeah. Viking ships.
Goat crackers, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well,
pretty fun stuff.
It's delicious. Talking with my mouth full. Everybody should try this recipe. It was so easy to do.
Yeah. We didn't make that bad of a mess either.
It's all worth it in the end because we all get to eat it. Right?
Yeah, awesome.
Anything else you want to add?
I don't know. I think this is a recipe.
Oh, by the way, we read about it.
Yeah.
And if you're taking long trips, just say you're going camping or hiking or you're going sailing like the sailors, this is really...
It's not going to get any crispier.
No. You can pack this in there and you have a little meal.
Yeah, I mean, ham, anything.
Get lost in the woods, you have something to eat. It's awesome. Well...
And then the recipe will be online, so if you need all the information and stuff like that, it will be on there before this airs for sure. So.
Okay, well, in honor of Rolf.
Yeah, no, we sort of miss him.
We have more butter because he's not here.
Is that why? And this is like an all-vegetarian one, too.
It's a vegan one. He would have loved it.
This would have been right up his alley.
Well, thanks, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can get some more recipes or some really interesting conversations with all our colorful characters in Door County.
Yeah, some good ones coming up.
I know, we got good ones. Yep. Anyway, I love this. I love Kit. So we don't miss you, Rolf. You just stay out there in Santa Barbara.
He probably would.
You need a vacation.
He's like,
anyway.
what? I get to miss all of fall in Door County.
Oh yeah, he's like, darn it.
It's like that's.
Okay, thanks everyone. Hey do.
Hey do.
I'm gonna put some.
I'm gonna grab some more here.
Yeah, this is really good. You better not eat it all up before Ellen and Grandpa G and Bill get some. I like it with the lingonberries on.
Oh yeah, that's where it's sort of works.
Thanks for watching Door County Girl. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.